On Sunday, November 13th, 2022, Moscow Idaho Police Department responded to a report at a home of an unconscious person that they received around 11:58 a.m. When they arrived at the home, members of the Moscow Police Department found four University of Idaho students dead on the second and third floors of that home. Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, and Xana Kernodle were roommates who lived in the home, while the fourth victim, Ethan Chapin, did not live there but was dating Kernodle. Two other roommates that lived in the home were not attacked, and police said they slept through the killings. What I'd like to do in this video for you today is talk about what we know so far, give you a timeline of the events that evening if you're not caught up to totally what has been going on, give you some theories that are surrounding on the internet, and just my final thoughts on this entire case. So far what we know is there's no suspect or suspects that have been named in this case by the Moscow Police Department. And I know that's been very frustrating. I'm sure it's very frustrating for the families and friends of these victims, the public that is in the area, and obviously the world that's been watching this case. Now, I know there's been a lot of online scrutiny surrounding this case on various public forums and threads, but there's been no hard evidence so far that points in the direction of an actual suspect. Another frustrating thing is no one has stepped forward. No one has stepped forward and seen anything or heard anything. We have no new evidence at this time, and obviously there's been no murder weapon recovered. A lot of people are asking why. Why have the police been so secretive about this? Why hasn't anybody stepped forward? Why doesn't anybody know anything? The truth is, I don't know. We can only speculate at this point. Do the police have an actual suspect, but they're not allowing us to know what is going on so they don't blow the case? Or do they really have no clue as to who did this at this point? And the biggest question surrounding this case is this a crime of someone that knew them or the work of a serial killer? Let's go to the timeline. Saturday, November 12th at 8 p.m., Ethan and Xana, who are dating, are at a party at the Sigma Chi fraternity on campus Saturday night. Ethan was a member of Sigma Chi. Saturday, November 12th, between 10 p.m. and 1:30 a.m., Maddie and Kaylee were at the Corner Club Bar in downtown Moscow, which describes itself as a dive sports bar. Sunday, November 13th at 1 a.m., police believe the two surviving roommates had returned home at this time. Both had been out in the Moscow community, but were not together. They may have not woken up until late Sunday morning, according to police. Sunday, November 13th at 1:40 a.m., Twitch livestream shows Maddie and Kaylee buying food at a downtown food truck called Grub Wandering Kitchen, also known as Grub Truck. Sunday, November 13th at 1:45 a.m., Maddie and Kaylee used an Uber to get a ride home from the food truck. All four victims were back at the six-room bedroom house on King Road sometime in the neighborhood of 1:45 and 2 a.m. Sunday, according to a map provided by the Moscow Police Department. Sunday, November 13th, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., this is when the Layeth County coroner said the homicides occurred. The Moscow mayor previously told the Statesman that police told them they believed the deaths were between 3 and 4 a.m. What we have here is a map and timeline that was provided by the Moscow Police Department and shows the locations and whereabouts of the four students that evening. And when I look at this map, some things that pop out to me is it's such a close-knit community. It's very densely populated, and the university was very close to where they lived. Also, the places that they were in and around were very close to this area as well. I find it very startling with all the activity that goes on in that area day and night, how close this community is, how close all these houses are together. No one saw or heard anything. All right, now that I got the basic timeline down, let's go over all those interesting theories that are swarming the internet at this time. Number one, it's called the hit theory. Maybe they or someone in their family is involved in a bad business deal or crime activity. I find this a little hard to believe because I would think that the police at this time probably looked into those angles. Number two, the jealous or angry ex-boyfriend theory. They just couldn't stand to be without one of the girls. Again, I find this a little hard to believe as I would believe the Moscow police have exhausted all of these angles, and all potential suspects at this point that were close to these girls have been looked into. Number 3, the stalker theory. The same theory as the above. It's just a person that can't stand to be without one of these girls. Maybe it's just someone that tried to ask one of them out before and they were rejected. It got them pissed off and they decided to get revenge by killing them. Another theory that has taken over the internet is the more than one killer theory. Certainly, murdering 4 people on your own would be a very hard task. So it'd be more logical that 2 suspects were involved in this crime. This certainly seems plausible, but I would think 2 suspects involved in such a huge crime, one of them would make a mistake. Number 5, the 2 roommate theory. They had to have something to do with it or known the suspect or suspects that were involved. Again, I think the police would have totally exhausted this option. I'm sure these roommates were scrutinized and interrogated to no end. With the pressure surrounding this case, I'm sure that one of them would have talked or squealed at this point. Number 6, the maintenance worker theory. This person saw the girls before, became obsessed, knew the layout of the house and the surrounding area so they could get in, kill, and escape easily. Seems a little far-fetched, too much like something from a movie. One of the more crazier theories out there is the satanic frat theory. This is just some type of satanic Greek ritual killing. Another theory out there that's been pretty important, we've heard a lot about this, is the white Hyundai Elantra theory. This is a theory that's come up that this is a suspect's car, or maybe the police already know who the suspect or suspects are, and the person or people inside that white Elantra have much needed details to what happened that evening. Number 9, the runner theory. There are 4 mysterious silhouettes caught on a Moscow police body cam in or around the area of the murders at the same time the murders were claimed to have happened. On that video, you can also hear a mysterious loud shriek. Number 10, the new serial killer or serial killer theory. 2 unsolved murders, one in 1999 and one in 2021, Washington and Oregon. They all had very incredibly similar to this one in nature. Those crimes happened on the same date as the Ohio murder, the 13th, and also fell on a weekend. All houses involved could be watched from the woods with cover. All houses had access via a sliding glass door, and all crimes happened during the 3 a.m. time frame. No DNA or no DNA matches have been found in either one of those cases at this point. What we have here is a map that lays out the crimes that I previously just talked about, and you can see how close all these crimes were in the area, probably just within a few hundred miles of each other. Seems very strange and very relevant in this case. Here are some of my thoughts to the particular person or people that did commit this crime. The suspect or suspects knew these girls, and they had been watching them for a while or interacted with them before. This is definitely not a stranger. The suspect that did this is very smart, and they did a significant amount of recon on the house. They methodically planned out this crime. They studied movements of the house, who came and went, and what times people came and left the home. The suspect came in on foot and made sure that the vehicle they drove was far away and out of reach of any cameras or people that could see it. And this definitely was a targeted attack. It definitely was a crime of rage or passion or to fulfill a fantasy. Now, with all that known, with all that's gone on, with no one that has come forward, no one that has brought any new evidence in this case, again, it's been 8 weeks since this crime has happened. Could we start thinking at this point, could it be a serial killer? If I was an FBI profiler, this is probably the suspect that I would be looking for. It's a large male with great strength, would be in their 20s or 30s, an extreme introvert, someone that was bullied or rejected by women throughout their entire life. This is definitely someone that spends a lot of time outdoors, someone that likes to hunt and is very experienced with knives, someone that may be obsessed with killing, or they likely killed or attempted to kill before. They may have an uncontrollable temper or have random bursts of energy and strength. I think this person definitely abused alcohol and drugs, and they have very obsessive compulsive personality because the way that this was planned out down to every last detail. Now, I know this has been an extremely frustrating case, a very frustrating case for the victims' families involved, the Moscow police, and the world, because the world has been watching. It's just been very frustrating and mysterious to what happened in this case. Hopefully, this case won't go cold, but as of right now, as I'm recording this video, there is no suspect and no new leads. Now, I know we all like to speculate, but we truly don't know because we don't have the privilege to all the evidence in this case. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think this is someone that the girls possibly knew, or could this be a serial killer? Leave your comments below. Before I end this video, I urge anybody that has any information in this case to call the Moscow Police Tip Line at 208-883-7180. Thank you for your time.